None of us know about Operation Exodus ran by the Mossad in the early 80s, where they airlifted thousands of falashas from Ethiopia to legitimize the state of Israel because they know the real so-called Hebrews is falashas in Africa.
Right.
So they had a whole thing under the silence. The Mossad done it. The Mossad is Israeli Secret Service. Operation Exodus. Remember Marley was singing Exodus, movement of the people. This is what he talking about. They was moving the motherfuckers right after that song came out from 77 to 83. You got to remember, that Israel over there was mapped out by a guy named Ralph Bunch, bootlicking ass nigga. Went over there because they didn't know where they was from. They was going to originally set up Israel in Guyana. They was going to set it up in Brazil. Then they picked a couple of different islands, and they was like, nah, ain't none of that going to work because ain't nobody going to believe that shit. So, and the Balfour Declaration was the agreement to set up the Zionist state of Israel that's over there now masquerading as an original government over there in a foreign land.
Okay.
That shit don't got nothing to do with us. But we just want to take everybody else's burdens like they our own. That shit not our burden. That's not our cross to bear.
Yeah.
Our shit got to do with feathers, peace pipes, marijuana, peyote, and motherfucking dancing around the fire while the grid tell the stories by song. That's our shit.
Yeah.
Where the fuck they come from with this bop your head 5 times a day on the ground? You can't live your life like that.
The ladies on my mom's side, they are some storytellers.
Grits.
The women on my mom's side, they are some storytellers and tell a good story.
Yeah, those are grits. All right, sweetie, I'm going to take another caller. I want to see if I can get Paige Flowers in here if she's still watching.
All righty. Well, it was good talking to you.
You too, sweetie. Keep it up. Keep your head up.
I will. Thank you.
All right. How you doing?
Good, good.
I've been watching you kick ass.
Oh, good. I'm over here eating my meal, listening to y'all. I'm like, yeah, this is the conversation our people need to hear. You know what I mean?
It's imperative, and it's painful to hear it, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, one of the sisters I used to talk to, used to be friends with. She went over there to Israel and saw how the Hebrews was living with that subsidized housing.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. Worse than over here. Worse than over here. Projects worse than over here. Horrible.
On All I Love, if you get that nigga bent at me in front of a camera, that nigga cheesing from ear to ear while them people living like that.
Mm. And she said they're not really vegan or raw. Some of them.
They niggas from the hood.
Mm-hmm.
They just claim they Israelites and moved over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She said it was so sad. I said, damn, sister. She said that the environment once you leave outside of the compound is very nice, right? Because of course that built it up. But on that particular land where they at, it's foul. Worse than how they do us over here. So y'all done packed up y'all shit and moved all the way over there just to get treated worse.
In the name of motherfucking Yahweh.
Yeah. Yep. It's bad. This is why it's so important. I sit here and I get on these calls with you and I listen to other brothers and sisters that tell us, look, we from over here. You know, I don't know if you know about the sister Linda Bay. I met with her in person. And she's really a cashier because she'll show you everything from beginning to end, how we was already over here. You know what I mean? She dig in the archive. She helped me get my family tree together all the way from the 1600s. I said, we ain't never left. North Carolina, you know, Texas, you know, we ain't never went nowhere.
The only place we went was Florida to fight the Gullah Wars.
Right. Like what you said.
Yeah. We came from all parts of the land to fight the Gullah Wars. The Great Migration, the Great Industrial Migration was us just going back home.
Yep. Wow.
Big Mama says a conjure war at this point, you know, and they never stop attacking us.
Right.
They never stop burning and flooding cities out. Shit. Philadelphia moved, they bombed that motherfucker in the 80s.
Yeah, bombed it. And I was also talking to Linda, and she told me too that all of them was a part of the Morris Science Temple. They just didn't want to put their children in them schools. A lot of people don't know that those brothers and sisters were woke. They were about pushing Noble Drew Ali's agenda. But the Rizzos bombed the people because they didn't want to send their children to school.
Now,
And never.
They went in under the pretense of serving an eviction notice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when they told them they wasn't going nowhere, instead of doing what you normally do with eviction notice, they sent in troops. Before the fire ever started, they was just shooting randomly in these people's homes.
Yeah.
With babies sleeping in rooms and shit. That's how they was able to get everybody in the basement before they dropped the bombs. They knew what the fuck they was doing. Wasn't nowhere for them to go because you got police shooting at them coming out the front, police shooting at them coming out the back. The only thing they can do is get to the lowest point to avoid the bullets. All of the police that got shot by friendly fire. And they charged the motherfuckers that was in the fire with the death of the police. They not responsible for them. Then no bullets come out of the inside of that place.
Right. And it's crazy that our people don't know these things. And even if they was, you know what I'm saying, defending themselves, they still had every right to.
Yeah.
Sleeping on that. Why they shot her in the first place was because of the fact they wanted to buy that building.
Yeah, that was a hit.
That was a hit. They wanted to buy the building. She didn't want to leave. They came in through the side, shot them. And they figured, well, nobody would want to purchase a building where somebody died in, or no tenant would want to move in where somebody died in. So they brought federal charges against them, but see, ain't nobody talking about it no more. See how nobody ain't talking about it no more?
That's because they look like us.
Yeah.
Look, we the most forget about it motherfuckers it is.
Mm-hmm.
They killed one of us today. Oh, it was just them. Forget about it. Tomorrow we go on about our businesses like ain't nothing ever happened. Shit. I ain't even got mad about the new shit. I'm still mad about them niggas getting in material for these crackers.
Yeah.
Or what I should say, under the pretense of crackers.
Yeah.
They even show it in the movie. People be saying, that's not true. Didn't know black men some niggas when he got Emmett Till.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to grow up to be Chief Littlehorn. Yeah. He was whistling fucking Dixie, the war cry. That's why they killed his ass. It had nothing to do with that lady. They used her for the patsy. She was the one that's going, right now, motherfuckers trying to get her ancient ass arrested. I don't give a fuck whether she get arrested or not. I want them niggas so I can find out who sent them niggas.
You know who I need to talk to? His name is, I don't know if you heard of him, but he claims to be the reincarnate of Emmett Till. And I met him at a psychedelic conference.
He wrote a book.
Yes, Totem. He looked just like him. And I met up with him again at Uncle Hank's place, Brother Hump, you know, scientist, wizard. And he's writing a book. Yeah. He writing a book on all the people that reincarnated as something else, you know? But they were the reincarnates of other people. And that was him.
When you study reincarnation, if you don't understand the symbol effect, you won't know why it's 50 different people saying they're the reincarnation of a certain person.
Yeah.
Right? If the person's DNA is in your bloodline and you vibrate similar frequency, this is the symbol effect. This is why you can have the Queen of Heaven and Earth in 50 different cultures at once using the symbol effect.
Yeah.
They all connected telepathically, and they all got similar genetic markers that allow them to link on this frequency of the symbol. The symbols was the daughters of Isis, right? So they was go and, like, if we sent priestesses to go train, they have to get to the level of the master before they can come set up their own priestesses.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody, they was asking about the sister you was talking about and how to get in touch with her.
Linda Bay on Facebook, and she can help y'all trace y'all genealogy as well as find the land patents. Because your family members had land patents. That's how they took your land away from you. And if you look at Rod's story, he also had that, I don't know, I think I saw it was today or yesterday. I don't know. I looked at your story and he was talking about how they took $300-something billion in land away from us. But she'll also help you find the land patents so you can get your land back. You know, so that you actually know, okay, where was your family at this time? So you also have the record, and you also have the intuitive record, where you feel called to go, and then what actually does the record say too. So she's on Facebook. Linda Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I pinned it up there for y'all to see how to spell her name, and y'all can look her up on Facebook. There's some more sisters. I would love to get in touch with Chief Warhorse.
Oh, Chief Warhorse, the truth. I listened to her.
She's my girl. Yeah. You remember when I posted her a while back? Anybody know who she was? And I was telling them about, fuck that shit. Let me post it so they can hear her talk.
Yeah,
because she the one made me look deeper into the Trail of Tears, and it was so clear as day how they switched us out on the trail. Right.
Yeah.
Because they took us. We was the POWs from the Gullah Wars that they was putting. They was using us as we was going to set up a reservation, but then they matriculated these Mongolians and these Huns and these Hindus in with the group, and then they auctioned us off as POWs. Here in the public domain, because this shit is time stamped and dated, and anything I say is sufficient for public notice. Notice to Asian is notice to principle. Action, reaction. We move, they move. They move, we move. But this right here, coup de grace, checkmate. Right? This is the free throws that at the end of the game, ain't no more time left on the clock.
That's good.
Right? All right, now we dealing with Indigenous Rights Act. There's an article that tells us to use our oral tradition. Let's go to that.
All right. Right here.
Let me see. That's self-determination. We can start with that.
Okay.
Let's blow that up. Go to the top so you can see. This is Section 1, Indigenous People, Scope of Application. Right? The Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People applies to the Indigenous people of the Americas. Who do it apply to, Elder?
The Indigenous
the ones over here?
Yeah.
Right. Self-identification as Indigenous people will be a fundamental criteria for determining to whom this declaration applies. States shall respect the right to such self-identification as Indigenous, whether individually or collectively, in keeping with the practice of institutions of each Indigenous group. So this is telling you, if we follow in our customs and traditions, that's self-identification that show you who we is.
That's right.
Right? What they call hip-hop culture is still our culture.
Go ahead.
We had Tupac Amaru in hip-hop. We had Rakim Allah in hip-hop. X-Clan. All of this is influences going all the way back to Kool Herc. Melly Mel. The legends. Right?
Yeah.
So our culture is not interrupted. It's still ongoing, but you have somebody that's still in everything we do.
Go ahead.
I'm here to stop them. This is not a game. This is not a joke. When Sipico put the Pope on public notice, go to the next page, Elder.
All right.
What you passed? You went the wrong way now.
Hold on. Which one?
Back one more.
Right there.
No, the one before that. That one.
Is it this way?
Right there. Blow that up. Yep. That's the one. In the culture, okay, this is Article 14, Systems of Knowledge, Language and Communication. Now, pay attention to number 1 because this is important. Indigenous peoples have the right to preserve, use, develop, revitalize. I mean, if it's something that we used to use, we can use it again, which is grandfather clause, and we're going to go over that in a minute. And transmit to future generations their own histories, languages, and oral traditions. Oral traditions is how we pass out information in the public domain. They pass it out in secret in libraries. We send elders out to teach it in the open.
Word of mouth.
Right? This is just part of my public service to the community. That's why I don't charge for nothing I do. It's helping getting the word throughout the community that we back for every motherfucking thing these people owe.
That's right. Let's go.
I gave them the instructions in the video. If you follow, hey, I want you to post this video, Elder, $1 trillion buyback.
Oh, yeah,
it's $1 trillion recovery.
Yeah. Send that link to me.
Okay, so now that's when I was telling them how to recover everything by buying controlling interest in everything moving. We have access to Big Mama's vault now. Once we buy controlling interest in everything, then we take over as a hostile takeover. We seize everything because we got the first position of right already. And now we dealing with the rights of the people collectively, the other tribes that they don't recognize in their law. That's why they named us Black, Negroes, and colored folks. I got them receipts too. They'll be posted on my Instagram and Facebook. All these receipts will be posted. Right? So if we supposed to go back to our oral traditions, I'm agreed. How do you know I'm agreed? Because I can recite history across varying different tribes and tell you what happened.
Go ahead.
How did we get here? Where did we come from? Who mixed with who where? That slave story is a goddamn lie.
That's right.
I can tell you this because I had to investigate it before I ever became an elder. I'm studying the problems that I found in state of emergency by Kwanzaa Kunjufu, who declared a state of emergency for us to deal with as elders when it comes our turn, young elder.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So why phase one so passionate about Baba? He supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like his little grand.
He supposed to be. That right. He supposed to be. So he got his ways. We a certain way about how we move. Right? We don't move the same because if everybody moved the same, we would cause a calamity and be all in everybody's way.
Right.
This, what I'm doing on the internet, is following the path of least resistance to reach the most amount of people to tell them that this shit is truly over. Let's find something else to talk about. Turn to another slide.
Okay.
Okay, this right here is SCOTUS ruled in the landmark case, United States versus Throckmorton. The fraud vitiates everything. We already showed them the fraud when they went behind our back and wrote that contract in the blood of Crispus Attucks to put us in the conjure war.
Go ahead.
We didn't know that. That's a fraud. It was what you call in law an a very vital piece of exculpatory evidence that we could have used to get out of it because we could have forgave the blood if we knew what we was doing back then. That's why they kept it a secret. Only because I'm a witch doctor off this land over here, Mississippi Red Clay Dirt Walking, Hyoka High Chief. This is how I know that all of these frauds was taking place on the land. right? It say by categorically asserting that fraud vitiates everything. The SCOTUS affirms that perpetrating fraud undermines the entire endeavor, the whole contract, the complete judgment. The final results still have been nullified since fraud vitiates everything, right? All of these contracts is predicated up on a constructed fraud by trying to convince the people they government. They not our government. They a private enterprise operating in the capacity of government as a legal fiction to defraud the people out of what they call tax dollars. So in our oral tradition, by me putting this shit in the public domain, that make it time-stamped and dated. That's fucking evidence. It's archivable evidence. This is why I'm on the internet.
This shit might go over their head, right? Go ahead.
They're going to have to come up to the level then. If they ain't on this level, they ain't understanding what I'm saying. Right? Let's go to the next one. Ex post facto law. This is leading up to the grandfather clause. The ex post facto law is from the Latin for the action or after the fact, also called retroactive law. Is a law of retroactivity challenges the legal consequences or status of actions that were committed or relationships that existed before the enactment of the law, right? Conversely, a form of ex post facto law, commonly called amnesty law, may be decriminalize certain acts or alleviate possible punishments. For example, by replacing the death sentence with life sentence retroactively. Such laws are also known by the Latin term in medias, right? So the law that came after the fact is everything that came after the agreement of the Continental Congress in a Iroquois Constitution. Predates the entirety of all what we call North American law, modern day jurisprudence. The bar associations. The bar associations is barristers. They don't got nothing to do with us. They got titles of nobility from England. They was christened in under King George.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Right? So they the ones was chartered to do business and to hold us in psychological slavery and servitude. This is what the John Dee conquest was about. John Dee was the ones who told Elizabeth I to write the blood of one of the chiefs in the contract called the Constitution that they lured our so-called 5 civilized tribes in without them knowing. That's fraud.
Yeah, go ahead.
Their whole shit is fraud. Go to the next one.
Somebody in the crowd in the chat say, Rod, get these niggas, man. Get these niggas, man.
Okay, we can skip this one because that's dealing with what we just went over. But that's just another ex post facto description about making up a law after the fact. This is what happens when the ex post facto law runs into a law that was there first. It's called a grandfather clause, right? Scroll up a little bit, Elder, so you can see a grandfather clause, also called a legacy clause, is an exemption that allows persons or entities to continue with activities or operations that were approved before the implementation of new rules, regulations, or laws. Such allowance can be permanent, temporary, or instituted with limits. They always had a time limit to how long they could stay here. They've already acknowledged on the Senate floor and by presidential actions that they acknowledge the conclusions to the contracts. Their time is up. It's over with. Right? Let's go to the next slide. So by the grandfather clause, this is how you get, okay, we gotta go to the first one of them. That looks like that might be the last one.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, non-treaty tribes. The relation between non-treaty Native Americans and the United States is complex and has been shaped by a number of Supreme Court rulings. So let me tell y'all where I got this from. I was having a conversation with AI, and I asked AI about the 9 treaty tribes, and this is the answer that AI gave. In the early days of the Republic, the Supreme Court held that Native Americans were domestic dependent nations. That means a protectorate, for those who don't know. Or domestic dependent mean that they got to take care of you like a parent take care of a child, or like a farmer take care of his animals.
Yeah, pet.
That was subject to the ultimate authority of the United States government. How? How, Sway? They don't got nothing to do with us. This doctrine was used to justify the government expropriation of Native American land and resources. In the late 19th century, the Supreme Court began to recognize that Native Americans had certain inherent rights, such as the right to self-government. However, these rights were often limited by government powers to regulate Native American affairs. See, we ain't talking about allowing the enemy to tell us what to do. We know how to do it ourselves. And I was up there chilling. I was preparing for a show with Young Elder.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't gonna be done tonight though. I still got some more receipts to pull up.
Okay. All right. What y'all was gonna talk about?
Who is the real Asiatic black man? So it was I had got a telepathic communication from the other side from Elijah Muhammad.
Ooh.
He said, explain who the Asiatic black man is, because in the nation doctrine, when they say, who are you? And then the answer is the Asiatic black man, the original man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. And it traces back to Hanuman and Sun Wukong and the different phenotypical traits that different genotypes produce. So it was some science in there.
When did the word Asiatic pop up on the scene? When did we start? You know how we talk about black and all these. When did we start using the word Asiatic, right?
All of those terms is in the 1900s. We wasn't using none of those terms before the 1900s. So in the sciences, the science used Latin terminologies to give names, right, to the different, everything is named with Latin terminologies. You know, like the Wolverine, Gullah Gullah, which means the throat of the throat, because they say he got an endless throat, eat everything. You know, then you have the terms for other animals Like when you're talking about cows, you're talking about Bobian. All of the Latin terms that we extract the common name from the old Latin terms.
Right.
So even when you get to people, when you start talking about Homo sapien, Homo erectus, genus Homo, and then you start talking about the subspecies of Neanderthal, Australopithecines, all these are derived from the Latin language. Asia is a Latin rendition of Far Eastern term. The scientific term for the original people from they got several terms, the Denisovian, the Negritos, all these Latin terminologies. So when you realizing that we've been dealing with terms imposed upon us by Spanish speaking or Latin speaking peoples, then our understanding of the English language even takes a higher approach, because many of the words in the modern English language is borrowed from all of the rest of the languages around the world, from Chinese, from Hindi, from Japanese. You know, we got words in the English language that's not English in origin. Matter of fact, about 80% to 90% of the English language does not come from an English-speaking country, but they are terms that they have adopted an English pronunciation from a foreign language. So even when we get to talking about the tribes, when we call ourselves Chickasaw and Choctaw, those are not tribal linguistics. Those are exonyms. Cherokee, Mohawk, Tomahawk, right? Those are all English renditions. Because they couldn't pronounce our language, we was forced to do business with them using their language. And the business language became the common language over time, when if we was caught speaking our languages, we got murdered. So so we deal with these terms now. So when Elijah say the maker and owner of the cream on the planet of God of the universe, we don't know he's talking about tribal Mississippian organics that they call Negrito. So I just was pulling up receipts and images to show what he's talking about. And that's what we're gonna be doing. That's over there.
That's gonna be a good one. When y'all doing that, Rod? So everybody can tune in. When y'all doing that?
I think we're going tomorrow.
Okay.
I still got a couple more. I got to organize my receipts so it could flow in the show format.
Right. Definitely. That's going to be fire, y'all. Make sure y'all check out Rod Hayes, a Young Elder, tomorrow night for more information on that. Yo, Rod, in the chat, they said Rod got the ladies going crazy. They talking about your haircut, Rod. They loving the new haircut, Rod. They loving the haircut, Rod.
They right now they just hollering at the moon because I ain't trying to hear it.
Oh man, love the haircut. Yo, so Rod, so listen, what I want to ask you about, speaking of the moon, I heard B-Dale talking about September 17th yesterday. It was a full super moon and a partial lunar eclipse. I seen a couple of videos on it. Now I know they decided to do the whole Diddy shit right on the day of, or right the day before, the day of the whole, while this whole energy is open tour for us, they got this whole Diddy, and that shit, there's thousands of videos of Diddy right now online. So everybody and their mom is focused on Diddy, but there's some spiritual shit going down. So I'm like, let me get Rod on what's happening right now, because I feel it, Rod. I feel something. The veil is thin. B-Dale said. Talk to me.
So not only is it a partial eclipse, but it's also a Virgo moon. It's a Virgo super moon, which is the divine feminine. The eclipse is always representative of an energy shift.
Right.
This is a partial energy shift, and on the heels of it, you see a lot of stuff coming out that was before kept secret. You know, like the Diddy case been being investigated, we know of at least a year. And it took them that long to arrest him for a freak-off party. And so the eclipse is the energy that it's like a opening of a door that was closed. It's a partial eclipse is it's a crack in the door and you can partially see in it. You know. So when we're looking at the day, okay, so the 9th month is the letter I. The 17th day is the letter Q. Right. So now we're talking about an intelligence code being dropped.
Right.
And we know that Diddy called out the CIA with his Bad Boy record label, because we know that the Bad Boys, the CIA motto is real bad boys move in silence. Right. So when he came out with that's a song with GINDJAB and Black Rob, in the beginning of the song, he's telling them bad boys come out and play. And all of this is this is to be a trigger for a series of unfortunate events for a bunch of unhealthy individuals that's been corrupting the system. And whether Puffy guilty or not, they haven't produced a person that said they was at the freak off party and didn't consent to what happened at the freak off party. So there's no, so all of the victims are what you call an assumed victim. This ties back into the assumed jurisdiction of the legal fiction. There's a whole bunch of assumptions in the Puffy thing, but Puffy's situation is not alone. It's not a standalone situation. It's a whole lot of big, powerful people in the music industry, music moguls, that this is connected to. Because remember, everybody that's in New York of any status know that Clive Davis was funding those parties. Everybody know it. It's not a secret. It's what you call an open secret. Everybody know that Lear Cohen was also implicit. We know that on the West Coast, you had Jimmy Iovine, Ted Fields, and that crew also financing the same events on the West Coast. So we know who these people protected by, because they the ones who be calling these artists up, threatening their life if they don't perform, if they don't sign over they record label, or sign over they masters, or sign over they residuals and they ASCAP and they BMI, and they trying to make sure that the artists stay broke. Right. So all of this stuff has to come out, because everything in the age of Aquarius got to be exposed. And now we living in the time where the truth is way more disturbing than the lies that we've been told. You on mute.
Once again, family, I see if some of y'all coming in late, Queen of Fool cannot make it tonight. So I was just about to just cancel the show and call it, because I just did a show. But I said, let me see if my brother Rod could come on real quick, because I wanted to just ask Rod about the energy that's in the air right now and get his take on some of the things out there. So Rod had availability, and if he has availability, he's always willing to come on the platform. So y'all make sure you show the brother love for him being willing to, dedicate so much time and energy. So Queen of B, she's going away, and I think she'll be back on the platform in about 2 weeks, y'all. So in about 2 weeks, Queen will be back on the platform. But I thank everybody for their patience.
Hey, if I was ego driven, you would have stroked the hell out of my ego, replacing Queen of Fool with me. That's an ego stroke.
Oh man, I'm telling you, that's the queen right there. She done put in work, Rod. She done put in some serious work. And yeah, she definitely deserves her flowers. So shout out to once again, shout out to Queen of Fool. Rod, let me ask you this: with everything that you see going on right now, what would be some of your predictions for 2025? That it's a 9-year. I don't know how much you into numerology and all that stuff, but what would be some of your predictions for what's going to happen in 2025, my brother?
We're gonna see so much stuff between now and January 31st that our head gonna spin.
Oh, just between now and January, we're gonna see. Because you're right, because the election and all of that. You think there's gonna be an election?
I don't see it happening, but they could run the stage show over.
Yeah.
But the way it's looking now, Kamala's failing miserably as planned. That's planned. It's planned for her to fail miserably. And the representations, chucks and pearls, the purple and the gold and the pearls and all that, that's all biblically prophesied, scripted, secret society stuff. Right now, we dealing with intelligence agencies from around the world are working to push piece by piece these concealed information into the public. And they run these psyops. I can't call them nothing else. It's psychological operations. Is like running an illusion in Vegas. It's the same principles, but it's just a bigger stage. Is they can keep you focused on politics. And, you know, you see, they just tried to apprehend the second attempted assassin on Trump.
Is that real? What do you think? They really tried?
Well, he didn't get a shot off.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is it's in the script. It's in the script. And that's the second bite at the apple, as they call it. You're only supposed to get one bite at the apple. The second bite at the apple mean that whoever was behind it now, they don't get a third option. They failed twice.
Damn. Wow. Yeah, I mean, shit, you try to take somebody out twice and it don't work. I mean, damn, that's serious. And so what do you think about, we got the election going on. We also got the situation, let's just say the Pope. A lot of people, you know, Blue Pill talks about the Pope a lot. A lot of people see him as the highest seat of power and authority in this you know, and over the continents. What do you see happening with the Pope? Is the Pope still going to be around 5-10 years? Right.
Remember, Pope Francis was really the last Pope.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude that came in to be the second Pope under him was an android. They take him apart and put him under the bed at night.
Rod, you starting again. Rod, come on, man. Rod, you doing it again. You come on, Rod. Come on.
I posted the receipts 2.5 years ago that he was a whole robot. Oh, and then they used the CGI at the windows when he's doing them speeches. He just turned around and disappeared. I mean, shit, the Pope ain't nobody. All he is a highest ranking pedophile priest cult member on the planet.
Right, you just said he was a robot. Did you hear yourself?
Yeah.
Oh man.
They take him apart, disassemble him, put him in a box, and slide him under the bed at night.
Oh man, that's wild.
That's why you don't see him as often as you used to see the other popes. They only bring him out when they need to make a big deal out of something, like when they had to rescind the Discovery Doctrine.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Right? That's a big deal. Because everything that's built on the Discovery Doctrine was rescinded with it, whether you know it or not. It's a fruit of the poison tree doctrine in law. Right? So that's the secondary Pope. Pope Francis, you know, he ducking and hiding. Right? But he ain't really ducking and hiding. Most of those bishops, cardinals, and high-ranking priests over there in the Vatican City, they're not there no more.
Right.
They don't.
Wow.
They just Gitmo, World Court, international tribunals, Russian court. They doing the same thing. Remember, Russia pulled a ship up to Guantanamo Bay. We thinking that this was some military posturing based on media coverage, but it wasn't military posturing. They was dropping off international criminals that they had apprehended, while all of these different government agencies around the world, it's not just one country. It's not just America. It's like almost every country on the world is involved. Right? because Switzerland was a neutral country. The only country that was authorized by international law to go in there was Interpol. But Interpol was given permission by several other governments to use special forces as sheep dipping for Interpol support. So they used some of the Navy SEALs, some of the Green Berets from over here, and some of the special forces from Russia, from China, from both North and South Korea. And we don't know nothing about it because they're not telling us this in the news, because they got to control a sloppy narrative that's falling apart in our face while we watching it, but we acting like we don't see it falling apart.
Damn. You know what I want to do too tonight, because we're not going to be here too long. I want to take a couple. I want to get some of y'all to ask Rod some questions. So, Rod, you mind if I bring a couple of people on stage and they ask you a question?
Oh, no, go right ahead, Brother Rich.
All right. One question, family. Don't get on here and think you're going to get a 30-minute consultation from Rod. It's one question. I'm gonna be on here for about a half an hour. I just want to get Rod on real quick and show y'all some love and show. Matter of fact, let me because somebody mentioned earlier. Let me post my brother Rod Cash App so y'all can show love. I seen somebody said support the brother, protect the brother. That's okay. Make sure this brother, he wasn't even supposed to be on tonight. And the brother showed love. So make sure, let me put this up on the screen. Yeah. So yeah. Did I put that link in the chat yet? Let me put it again. For anybody who want to ask Rod a question, come on in. I'm posting the link to the chat. Come on in. You can ask one question. Then we're gonna ask a couple of questions. Then we're gonna get out of here. Rod, I gotta call you too. We gotta do another Patreon, man. There's some stuff I want to talk about, and I want to talk do a part 2 about the whole ESP thing, the extrasensory perception. So I want to really go on that. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Maybe we can set something up for next week. But
let me Rich, we do.
Indeed. But yeah, I really like that last one Rod did. Make sure y'all go over to Patreon. The Gathering of Masters is on there. But I did post the link in the chat. Let me get a question from the chat while we wait for anybody who wants to come on. Somebody said it's Peru named after Heru.
No, Peru. That's I didn't do the etymology on the word, but it's not named after Heru. It's just a homonym. But it could be Masonically linked through the temple priest to name it that based on the homonym.
Okay. Let me ask a couple of more questions in the chat. Everybody just talking about Rod's haircut. Let me see some questions in the chat. Okay. Do you advise changing your American status and rescinding your USA ID documents?
You ain't got to deal with that paperwork. You are who you are. Your sovereignty is anytime you got to write a piece of paper and send it to somebody to assert your sovereignty, you're not sovereign.
All right, let's get to. I see a couple of people in the back. We're gonna get to a couple of questions before we get out of here, family. Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming on here. Let me just put this back up while we get to a question. Hold up, y'all. Give me 1 second. I can't find Bay. Tamaria Bay. What's going on, sis?
Hey, Brother Rich, how you doing?
All right. How you doing? Where you from? What's your question?
I am from the Carolinas, so we got that real high energy right now in the building.
Oh, yeah.
You know what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh, yeah.
Reconnecting back out here with the world, with the planet, getting energized.
Oh, yeah.
Rod Hayes, my man.
What's going on, sweetie?
Rod, you know what? I've wanted to talk to you for so long.
There you go.
Listen, let me tell you something, Rod.
Hey, Brother Rich, hold on 1 second. I got somebody at my front door. I gotta go run to the door right quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. No problem. Yeah. While we do that, hey sis, while we wait. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, while we wait, let me put Rod Hayes Cash App on the screen. While we do that, hey sis, are you doing anything in particular tonight? They say yesterday was a full moon, partial eclipse. You doing anything? Any rituals planned? Anything you got going on that for tonight, sis, or anytime soon?
Well, you know, I started about a week ago because I felt led to start like detoxing. I had like this pull on me where I kind of was like tired. So what I've been doing more so is journaling a lot and just staying in tune with my intuition right now, trying to keep my frequency as high as possible. Because I realize that even through these perilous times, we still have to tap into ourselves, stay in ourselves, and be, you know, in the world but not of the world. So
yes,
yeah, I've been journaling. I do a lot with herbs, and that's really a big thing for me. And I get my kids involved because I have 5 daughters, so they're all young goddesses, trying to keep them connected. But mostly just keeping my vibration high, being aware of my consumption of certain things, you know, because what we put into us becomes a part of who we are.
Indeed. Excellent. All right, go ahead and ask your question, sis. Go ahead.
Whew,
My
all
bad.
right.
Appreciate y'all
Right.
patience.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Rod, I had a dream about you a while ago. And it was after you did the show with Brother Rich talking about tapping into your totem pole animal. And I wanted to ask you this question ever since this show was done about a year ago. Um, you said to call out to your totem pole animal, your spirit animal, you know, ground yourself on the earth, talk to the earth, and, you know, the connection is already there. So you're just amplifying it with your intention, right? So I did. I had been seeing like owls everywhere following me. This is no
Black girl
lie.
magic.
No lie. Like I got pictures of owls. I got feathers from red birds left all over my backyard. My daughter and I just recently, my youngest daughter, we started, you know, doing some little rituals or whatever with bamboo and stuff like that, right? But this owl, no, be quiet, baby. One moment. This is serious. But this owl followed me everywhere for like the past 4 years, but more specifically, it's been the last year. Owls are just following me everywhere.
So the one thing you got to do when your spirit animal is trying to contact you is obviously the owl. The owl governs the guidance through dreams. So the owl, when it guides you through the dream, you know it because it's like you being carried by the owl. You can sense the owl behind you, but you can't see it in front of you. That's because you are embodying, the owl is embodying your energy to show you something in the dream realm. It's black girl magic. Ain't no other way for me to say it. Black girl magic is the highest form of spirit communication between the animal kingdom and the human kingdom. So when we communicating and you seeing the red feathers, that's cardinal feathers. It's a cardinal flip, which means it's coming from an ancestor on the other side that's trying to get your attention. But you haven't seen the cardinal, you just seen the feather, right? So 9 out of 10, the owl ate the cardinal.
Wow.
Which is telling you that there is a superior spiritual force that's trying to contact you higher in rank than the cardinal. And it settles on the owl. And normally the ones with the top owl totem, they either got big eyes or big breasts.
Let me take these glasses off real quick. They're not too big.
But the slang term for big breasts is hooters, and hoot is what the owl do.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Bro, where you come up with this shit, man?
That's insane.
Yo, he knows all this shit. Yo, you a bad man.
So when you go to see the hooters, you see the eyes on them. Them are owls' eyes on the hooters logo.
Damn, man, how you come up?
Wow. Oh my God.
All right, that's crazy. Hey, sis, I want to thank you for your call. We're gonna get to the next call.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Appreciate the call, man.
That Hooters thing was brilliant, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Oh yeah.
What's going on with you guys?
Oh man, I love watching you guys, man. Thank you guys for everything you do with the spiritual community, and I've been trying to ask you guys this question for like months now. So
All right.
hopefully you can answer it. But there was the installation of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, I think in January or February. I practice Hinduism, so I wanted to know what that installation, you know, means symbolically, and how does it pertain to like the new age of Aquarius that you guys talk about.
Okay, for the people that's watching, first of all, I didn't hear the exact words you said, but when you tell it, when you say the word again, tell the people the English translation of it if you know it.
The Rama Mandir in Ayodhya. Ayodhya is the city that Ram was born in, and Ram is Hindu incarnation of a god named Vishnu, who comes to preserve civilization.
So he's talking about the Ramayana is the text. Ram is the heir to the throne. Ram was sent into exile by some witches who condemned him before his father and said he wasn't worthy, but he was the most worthy among them. So his father allowed him to go into exile for 5 years before he comes back to reclaim the kingdom. This is also the story where you were introduced to Hanuman in the Hindu tradition, in the Ramayana. And Hanuman becomes the companion to Lord Ram as he's making his journey through the wilderness. But this is also symbolism because it's the same story as Hanuman making his journey to the west to find the Buddhist scrolls. So what he's talking about is the incarnation of Vishnu, the sustainer, Brahma, the creator, and Shiva's the destroyer. The sustainer is the one who maintains the balance throughout the realm of the earth in order for everybody to live in harmony. When the balance is lost, then comes Shiva to destroy it, and Brahma restores it all over again back to the beginning. So these are the cycles. Right, these are your yuga cycles, your great years. It's all talked about through the Hindu doctrine. So, what the particular event that he's talking about, I didn't check for it, so I don't have the exact answer to what he's asking. But I'm familiar with the general concept of the Ramayana and what's taking place in the text.
Yeah, we definitely. I got to look into that too, man. I definitely appreciate you asking that question, Mr. GT.
All right, please tell me in a future show, man. Please tell me in a future show.
Definitely.
I always come back with the answer.
Got you. All right, bro.
Thank you.
All right, peace.
Hey, man, I think you almost start beating my chest.
Brother, you gotta I think your computer's on, brother, and I can hear my voice. You gotta turn your computer down. There's like real bad feedback. Okay. Check that. Yeah, I can't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, brother. Yeah, usually they let me change some settings or something. It's just,
we gonna get back to you. We gonna Jay, what's happening, my brother?
Peace, family. How y'all doing?
Right.
Peace. What's going on with you?
Doing well. What's happening with y'all?
All right. You just finished smoking this something, man?
Nah, man, I'm good. I'm actually sitting here working on some homework with my dog.
Excellent. What's going on, brother? What's your question?
So I've been recently watching, been following you, Brother Rich, for a while, and then started watching you, going back, watching old videos with Rod and stuff. And got a lot of questions, but one question I've been wanting to get answers from is, what would you say is the best way to trace your etymology? You know, like I got families that's got a direct lineage to the Gullahs and to the Choctaw. And so it's like, what would you say is the best way for me to like, not just trace it, but also even like in my family so that they could want to help me trace it as well?
Well, one of the things that waking it up in your family, most of us family members is not interested. Most of them, you can put them on an army of wild horses to drag them through the mud to try to get them. They're not waking up. They're not gonna wake up until the ones who wake up get the benefit of waking up, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, I should have woke up." So, but the best thing for you to do is find the oldest people in your family to talk to, and go over their story, and it's going to tell you where they was from, what they did. It's going to give you information that's going to give you leads to look in geography and find out what tribe was situated where, you know. So a lot of it is talking to your elders. And a lot of the elders, like a lot of our elders crossed over, but we got a lot of centenarians still here. And most of us know somebody in the family that's 100 years old, but we don't talk about it. You know, 85, 90 years old, but we don't talk about it. They still here. They experience all of that stuff from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to the 2000s, and they still here. Right? And we don't want to talk to them because, you know, we was raised that, oh, that old fool don't know nothing. They know all of it. They lived it. And they seen the different classifications, the reclassifications, all of that being taken place, the benefits that was our birthright be given to other people. They watched it with their own eyes. Everybody that's 100 years old is a walking codex of information. You just have to learn how to question them to get to the part of the information you need the most, but it's there.
So I probably should record the conversations and write notes down.
Yeah, because now you can go back, you can review it over and over, you can hear it in their voice. And not only that, in 5 generations, you'll be able to play the recording for your great-grandchildren.